director of the Gorkana U.S. business. And we are, again, just delighted to have you all here and to kind of fulfill and continue to fulfill that mission of bringing together the media that matters with the communication professional community and creating those relationships.
Well, let's start by picking up what we were talking about before. Understand who's doing what within Bloomberg. It is a big organization. Obviously, we're here to sort of help provide some transparency in where people are. But if you're pitching within my group, so our group covers technology, media, telecom, automotive, airlines, healthcare, a bunch of different things. Within those groups, you want to know who the editors are who are overseeing that coverage, and then also who the reporters are who are covering certain beats.
The great thing about Bloomberg, and especially on the TV side, is what we offer is fully available on all kinds of platforms. If you don't have a TV on your desk, grab an iPad, download our app, and watch some of our programming on your commute in. Surveillance, our program that Sarah works on, is much different than Bloomberg West, a technology program we run out of San Francisco. And if you know our product and what the voice is and what the specific needs are for these programs, it makes those pitches that much more compelling. It says to me as an editor, and it says to my bookers and my on-air talent and reporters, that you as a PR professional have invested the time to know a little bit about us, and it helps us kind of build that trust relationship.
Well, tech is obviously one of the important sectors to the economy. It's one of the important sectors for us to cover, and we cover it sort of wall to wall. We have a big crew in San Francisco that's anchored by Tom Giles on the Bloomberg News front. They'll cover all sorts of exclusive stories, obviously coordinating with Businessweek, which has done a great job with its technology coverage.
In terms of the magazine itself, I'd say the lead time is get it to us before Thursday if you want it to be in the next issue, because that's when we really discuss it and there's a much better chance of it getting in. The magazine hard closes Wednesday night, but sections of it close, especially the back of the book, which is more sort of the, the working life, et cetera, more lifestyle. That closes earlier.
We're constantly striving to have news that nobody else has. So if you have a good story, and it can be a good story in all sorts of sizes, small, medium, or large, and you want to have it placed effectively someplace, we want to have a conversation about whether it makes sense for us to work with you on that story. And sometimes, sometimes it will make sense, and sometimes it won't make sense. It gets a little trickier with embargoes, where you're giving the news to several people and you're trying to hit a particular time frame. Frequently, what we'll have reporters tell the people that they're working with is that we're happy to accept an embargo and work under embargo, but we're not going to be constrained by that embargo. If a source calls that reporter up, an hour later and tells them the exact same information, we're not going to feel constrained to wait for your embargo if we get the information someplace else.
With off the record, of course, we talk off the record, because there are many times when the goal is to get smarter and to make sure we're right. And I have to say, in this case, I will come out and say that I'm getting to women again. I think part of what I'm trying to do is help people who aren't as familiar with the news become more comfortable with that. It is a trust situation where you have to trust that when you say something's off the record, it is in fact off the record with the reporter. But for example, when we hear about major shifts in a CEO search, or who's going to be the next person to lead this, you want a reality check. That reality check can come from people on the board, it can come from headhunters. Those are people I understand who don't want to be on the record. What's important to me is that we get it right. We have to source it, but it's very powerful. I mean, our goal is to be smarter, and we can't be smarter if we're not talking to the people who are actually in the room.
What I can tell you is the editorial leader for U.S. television, we want your thought leaders in your companies and your clients' companies to be on Bloomberg TV first. That said, we are not going to play games like some of our competition. We think there's value in a conversation, and frankly an informed conversation, that I think BTV specifically offers a better platform for real clarity, and frankly not a lot of the commentary that might go around at some of the competition. So as you guys are thinking about where to put your person first, I'd encourage you to kind of ignore some of the historic lines that are handed out about BTV and realize that the story has changed, the distribution has changed.
I'd say one of the perils of email is it does kind of much more conducive to spam, which means that my name is inserted on top, and I don't think people realize the cost of doing that. You can say that you've distributed it to these number of people, but the reality is that when I get too many of those, I start to just delete. You know, I just see the subject line where it's from and I delete it.
Okay, well, I would just say, I think email is probably the most effective first contact, but you usually want to have a personal relationship with the person. You can begin that over the phone. If you can meet them, that's obviously
Lunch.
better.
We have free snacks.
Yeah, we got lots of snacks. Twitter, I don't think is very effective for pitching, at least in my
I don't see how you
experience. It's more
pitch
of
through
a
Twitter. It's sort of
dialogue.
you can follow me. That'd be great. Everybody follow me. I need more
very
followers.
concisely.
You know, on the TV side, I think we're using social media, Twitter, and some of the other platforms as a monitor for the companies that we know are going to be in the news. So, you know, obviously regulation is changing in terms of distributing and fair disclosure and all of the rest. I think it's going to be a really interesting space to watch. And having interviewed the Business Wire CEO in Omaha a few weeks ago, I know it's something that a lot of people are watching. I think it's exciting and transformative as a journalist, but the phone is often the best way to start building that relationship.